At this rate, yeah, it is. I was on time. I was on time. See, this particular episode was a joke because it's April Fool's. So, like, thought I was going to be on time. I got him. Got him. Yeah. Totally did that on purpose. Totally did that on purpose. That's actually a good idea. Okay. There we go. Oh, really? Really? Ah, go. There we go. There we go. Welcome to the stream from Algeria. Symbols of some kind, hieroglyphics, maybe. Um, short 5-hour stream. That's right, English Bob. That's right. I might go even shorter. 4 hours and 73 minutes. The calendar's for tomorrow. Yep, exactly. That's how I'm always on time. You got it. Welcome to the stream, Jansoon, Ski, and everybody. I appreciate it. I think I tweeted. Yeah, I did. All right. Did y'all see the episode or the listen? I guess the episode of this my great second hosting of Ubuntu podcast. It was great. You should listen later if you haven't, but still. The countdown didn't start over, did it? Did it? I'm pretty sure I hit it right exactly at the time. Welcome to the stream, Johan. It's called Tiffany. That's probably wrong. I'm just going to call you Symbols. How about that? It did restart. Huh. Oh, if it did. Okay. He's saying it did. Okay, now I'm confused. Just so mean to me sometimes. I'm so easily confused. You have 5 hours left. Nice. Yep, smash that like button for sure. Let's see, you gotta open that map. Wrong thing. I'm going to open that also. And that. And we're good to go. Not actually. Wouldn't it be great if I was ready when I started the stream? That'd be so good. When you get used to it and be spoiled, though. All right, we're going to go here. There we go. Jacob, I don't know what they'll say. They'll probably just keep saying the same kind of thing. But I will continue to be doing other podcasts because I'd like to. I like doing all podcasts. My intent is to do all podcasts. Not every one in existence, but all of this related topic. How about that? That's a short stream. I have done longer. That is true. The enigma. It's the quantity. Yep. That's exactly what I'm going for. The quantity. Okay. I have... Oh, okay. I was like, that's why is that there? And... Okay. So is that ready to go? No, it is not. How can it be ready if you don't tell it to open? Ah, right. Silly me. And... Stop bouncing thing. The stupid icon on the dock just won't bounce. It won't stop bouncing. Even though I told it to stop bouncing. Stop it. I know that's weird. But it is annoying. That's better. Whoops. Whoops. That's better. Yeah, it's better. Just in time for me to go to bed. I am sorry, Zeb. I will do better someday. Someday. Wait, I did hit it. Yep. If I hit the microphone just in the right spot, it makes a boing sound or like a guitar sound. There's actually, in the latest episode of the Ubuntu podcast, at some point during like the middle of the show, I accidentally hit my microphone stand or mic arm, and it makes that sound. And it was right at when I finished a sentence that they couldn't edit out, so it was impossible to get rid of. So it's just in there. Yup. That's how professional I am. Totally professional. It's whether I hear it or not. Nice. Is Biddle on for tonight? I mean, Biddle will be live tonight. Yes. Will he be there? We'll see if he wakes up or not. All right. So. First topic of today. By the way, we're going to have at least 3 Windows Microsoft topics and about 4 BSD topics. So half of the show is not going to be Linux. Not really. That's not true. I can say whatever I want because it's like, April Fool's is what it technically, okay, it says it right here. Not really. Although there is one Windows topic, technically, sort of, kind of. No BSD stuff, though. Because there's only one topic that was BSD interesting, and I don't know. Not sure people would want that. GNU NT. Nice. Okay. Brennan, thank you very much for the super chat. That's awesome, dude. Welcome back to the stream. All right. This week we got an announcement from Firefox, or from Mozilla, for Firefox Facebook container add-on. This is an extension that allows you to have Facebook in its own special container. Now, you can technically do this in the multi-accounts container extension or the container tabs extension. You can do it yourself manually. But this does actual extra things that the container system doesn't do. So, for example, there's a feature where, like, by default, this is what when you go to Facebook, whether you're in a container or not, it will automatically activate the container for Facebook. This is possible in the regular one. You can have it where when you click comments and likes outside of the container, it won't actually activate the liking because you're not technically logged in on that profile. That's what something is not available. So you can technically do that, but the switch back and forth is where the Facebook container is good, because the individual add-on allows you to have an ability to click links inside of the container to automatically leave the container. Whereas most of the time when you click a link in a container, it will keep you in that container and it will continue to use the same one. Whereas this particular extension that they made would take you out of that container so that Facebook couldn't track you anymore. So that's kind of the approach to doing it. So it's more like you can already kind of do it by yourself, but this adds an extra feature on top of that makes it much more privacy oriented. Naturally, because Facebook has been the quintessential example of protecting your right to privacy and not sharing your data. Everybody knows that, right? So Facebook has now admitted that they track your phone calls on your smartphone if you have the Facebook app installed. So there's that. That's fun. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. It's like a lot of people, okay, not everybody, but a lot of people already know this, especially, in the tech world. It's obvious that Facebook is doing these things, but the level that they do it is just crazy. Like, there's even a memo that was released and that was leaked where one of the executives of Facebook was basically saying, we're going to connect people, basically what means get people to use Facebook at all costs, even if it goes into extremes of events like attacks and stuff. They were saying that that's good for Facebook still because it's connecting people. It's like you've kind of gone off the deep end there when you get to that point. But anyway, on the bright side, at least you can somewhat now protect your traffic from outside of Facebook from Facebook, so they won't be able to utilize that any further. You could also delete your account. But not everybody can do that. I understand. So deletefacebook.com is a thing if you're interested. Yeah, it makes sense that the container wouldn't work if you already haven't named that, because it's specifically named, that particular extension is named specifically Facebook. So it works better than the default containers anyway. Ski, that makes you one of the best fans ever. I'm wearing it too. I wear it a lot, actually. Johan has a good point. I agree with that. It depends what else you're wearing. Add Facebook specific tools. I don't know. Interesting. I don't know how I got here. Well, welcome to the stream, Beefy. It does, Ski. It does. You'll never know. Let's make it weird. Let's make it weird. Watson, that's an interesting idea. Having a Facebook account just so other people don't use your identity on Facebook. Interesting. I actually don't use my Facebook account. I have one, but I don't use it. I mean, I use it for business stuff, but not really. Other than that. And all the tracking stuff that Facebook has, I don't log into Facebook almost ever, unless I'm going to use it for some kind of business thing. So they don't really have anything on me. Spending like at the club. Nice. Thank you very much, Matthias. I appreciate it. with the super chat. That's cool. It's even fun to say super chat. Remember when I made that clock and I was going to keep track of like how long I do between topics and stuff? And then that day, I literally never used it at all. I set up another solution to do the same thing. And I haven't used it yet. And I just realized that. And that's why I did I don't know what SEC is for UK. I don't know if it's more I don't think Instagram is more dangerous than Facebook. I think Facebook is way more dangerous as far as like the amount of information they have, because they also track you with like other applications and other websites, whereas Instagram doesn't do that. So technically, I'd say that Facebook is by far the worst of all of their tools, even though Instagram is owned by Facebook. But they all track you in some way. Except for Mastodon and Diaspora. Which, by the way, if you'd like to follow me on Mastodon, this is the account. However, I haven't posted anything yet. I will, but I haven't yet. Oh, you can see my account is verified on Mastodon. You see that check mark? Yeah. To be clear, page exists. YouTube broke it. Yeah. YouTube just broke it. Take out the stupid whatever percent EF stuff at the end, and it's fine because YouTube breaks everything. All my links are broken by YouTube. I have no idea why. It's just never ends. Never ends, YouTube. Don't you think Linux boys should disown Facebook boys? No. If people are aware of it and do it anyway, it's different. Google has a ton of data collection too. Welcome to the stream, Red Robbo. Appreciate you coming. All right. 20. Wait, did I not mention that? I might not have mentioned that on the show. I meant to. I've been using Firefox Mozilla stuff since I don't know, 2002 or 1, something like that. Many people use Mastodon. I mean, not as much as everybody else, all the other platforms. No, Mastodon is just more like freedom, decentralized concept of Twitter. Can you help me out here? Currently doing a. Oh, okay. I was like, that's a big question. Talk about custom PHP CMS. But I would say that TinyMC is just fine. CK Editor is actually kind of heavy because it adds a lot of extra features, but it also has a lot of a lot of weight too. And TinyMC is typically fine for most uses. Okay. So anyway, got sidetracked. This week we got an announcement for the release candidate of GIMP 2.10. Now, GIMP actually hasn't had a release since 2012-ish. So the 2.10 release candidate is actually like a pretty big news for the GIMP community. There's also a ton of features that are coming in 2.10. So, for example, they've added the ability to have like a dashboard dock for monitoring, so that you can, while you're using GIMP, you can have like see how much resources that GIMP is taking while it's like rendering filters and things like that. So I mean, it's more of a developer thing that you can like use to debug things, but overall, it is nice to know like how much it's being used if you want. They've also had improvements for a new shadows and highlights filter, which is pretty cool because it makes it a lot easier to do certain types of image editing that you would normally do in something like Darktable or Therapy or Raw Therapy. They've added the ability to do masks on layer groups. That's something that's very important for a lot of people for the professional level stuff. Being able to change things on the group level. They've also added the ability to recover files from a crash. So if you're working on an image and GIMP crashes, when you bring GIMP back up, it will try to recover the files that you were working on, so you wouldn't lose them. Now, this doesn't technically work right now in the release candidate, but it is scheduled for release with 2.10. So that is really nice for them to be doing. So overall, there's a lot of cool updates, and they're even making like gigantic updates for the GEGL or GEGL library, which is a graphics library. I'm pretty sure it's actually pronounced GEGL. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's that. But anyway, there's like GIMP has a lot of potential. That's it's making it a big jump forward in the space. Then one of the reasons I also wanted to talk about GIMP is because I saw a video from Scale, and this video is entitled "Why the GIMP Team Obviously Hates You." So this video is titled "Why the GIMP Team Obviously Hates You." And the topic is pretty interesting because it's one of the GIMP team members who is talking about why GIMP doesn't do things that the community wants them to do and things like that. And one of the things that they talked about, one of the things that they said is GIMP is a huge project. It's had such a huge history, it's got like massive longevity. It is used by a wide variety of types of different people who like photographers and artists and all kinds of things. And the amount of people who work on GIMP is 6 people. 2 of those 6 people are core backend developers, and the other 4 are feature and patch builders and things like that. But there's only one person typically that works on the Gegel library. There's another person who does do some work with it as well, but majority of that library is built by one person. So their video is basically to say, while we don't hate you, we don't disagree with some of the ideas you have. Like they said, adjustment layers are fantastic. We would totally want adjustment layers. But we don't have the amount of people that we don't have enough people to work on adjustment layers in order to make it a possibility in GIMP. So it's just I think it's an interesting video to check out if you want. And it did give me enlighten me to some topics about what they were discussing, because I wasn't aware of how small the team was. So I mean, as far as just the amount of people they have as developers and the amount of work they have been able to accomplish, it is very impressive. So maybe if there was more developers, then GIMP could be much better. So we'll see what happens in the future. But 2.10 does look like a very nice release, and I look forward to trying it out. That was a long one. I'm going to have to edit that a lot. Yeah, when I watched that video, I was like, oh, it's only 6 people. Didn't know that. Had to wear my to be allowed to what? Matthias, the Mastodon.rocks server is not what I use. Mastodon.social is what I use, because that's the Mastodon.rocks is the one that had the upgrade problem. Mastodon.server is .social is the official one, like the not official, but like the main one. So that's why I use that. A lot of people lost their account from that. It was like I think they said like 6,000-7,000 people lost their accounts. Yeah, Sabrina, I'm not talking about the betas, because I'm not gonna promote a beta of pretty much anything unless it is very soon to be released, or it's got a lot of interesting concepts like they're doing. That's why I talked about GIMP's RC, because technically it's still beta, but they've essentially said it's coming soon. So talking about 2.9 would be like, who knows when it's coming? Who knows? But then when they have finally announced that there's sometime soon, might as well. Fine with me. Okay. I haven't used Photonix, but Raw Therapy and Darttable are good. Oh. I'll come back to it. Missed that. This week we got an update for Raw Therapy 5.4. Raw Therapy is a cross-platform, open-source raw image editor. If you ever heard of Darktable, Raw Therapy is essentially the same type of program. They do very similar things. The Raw Therapy update added a new histogram matching tool, HDR tone mapping, and you can now do local contrast manipulation. So this is a nice. This is mostly a maintenance update with a few features, but overall, I just wanted to make a note about Raw Therapy because it's a really cool application, and if you're any kind of into photography at all, then you should definitely check out Raw Therapy. So there's another thing I wanted to talk about that was just in the previous topic of GIMP. Raw Therapy and Darktable are now going to be in the future releases of GIMP. They're going to have it where you can have integration between the two. So you can open something in Raw and directly send it to GIMP. And in some cases, they're saying that they're working on it, maybe even opening an instance of Raw Therapy or Darktable inside of GIMP. So it'd be like you're using GIMP, you need to open a raw file. It opens Raw Therapy, for example, and then you do your changes, send it to GIMP, and then you do the work in GIMP. That is pretty cool. So if you haven't heard of Raw Therapy before, definitely check it out. Well, if you're into, raw image management, stuff like that. Okay, get that. I need to close that. All right. All right, next topic is almost ready. Tilix is a terminal emulator that has tiling Windows functionality. You may have heard of it previously of a different name because it used to be called Terminix, and it was then changed due to a branding conflict of the Terminix pest control company. They basically issued a cease and desist sort of thing. That they didn't really. They might not have had a choice, but to actually submit that to the Terminix or the Tilix team. So anyway, I went into more detail about that particular topic in episode 3 of This Week in Linux. So if you'd like to check that out, you can find a link in the show notes. But this one has a new update for a lot of cool features, but we'll just talk about a couple, in that they fixed some transparency issues with the upcoming release of GNOME 328. They've also have fixed something where you can tweak. They tweak the custom links and has made it the ability to reorder the links, and you can now evaluate various different parts of the Tilix thing through regex expressions, which is pretty cool. Well, the only thing that's kind of negative about this particular release is that they removed the support for the Quake mode in the Wayland instance. And Quake mode is like, if you ever heard of Quake or Quake, those are all like drop-down terminal menus. Those are based on the old Quake game command structure. So that's why it's called Quake mode. But they removed it for the Wayland. They haven't said if they're going to be adding it back in the future. But I just wanted to talk about Tilix in a general, because Tilix is a really cool application that if you would like to have some kind of like tiling terminal, it is a fantastic solution. And if you use X, the Quake mode is a really nice feature to have. So check out Tilix 1.7.7. Shane Milton uses one or the several of these programs. I know he uses Darktable. I don't know if he uses Raw Therapy or not. Aw. That's all right, Jansu. I'll see you later. Thanks for coming to the stream. Screen versus no hub versus set SID. I don't really have a preference of any of them. But as far as what I've used the most, it's probably screen. Although no hub is used a lot in Solus for, like, for example, you can refresh the budgie interface through no hub, so that's cool. But I probably use screen the most. But I don't use any of them that much at all anyway. So, but as far as like percentage wise. All right. This week we had an announcement from Digicam. 5.9 was released. This is mostly just a bug fix release, but they also had some nice improvements for performance. They've improved some MySQL performance, and they fixed the support for XMP sidecar support. I think I said support multiple times there. That's fine. And so most of it is just going to be like... This is the last version of the 5.9 series, or the 5.x series, and this is mostly just a bug fix release. But there are a lot of cool things that if you're interested in checking out, a very cool photo management tool. That's a very cool photo management tool. Feels weird to say that, but. Digicam is a very cool photo management tool made by the KDE team. So if you'd like to check it out, you'll find a link in the show notes. I feel weirdly tired. Is it noticeable? Like I shouldn't be tired in the middle of the day, but for some reason I feel tired. I don't know. Weird. Very weird. Mm. Not sure if the chat's loading or not. Well, Jacob, I agree that Darktable is better than Digicam at that particular purpose. I think Digicam has a more of a different approach anyway. Like their target is different. But Raw Therapy is a decent one too. As far as Darktable, Raw Therapy is pretty good too. I'd still probably go with Darktable, but Raw Therapy is pretty good. Let's see. This. This week we got an announcement for a fork of Synergy. And if you never heard of Synergy, Synergy is a tool that is probably the most commonly suggested tool for having multiple machines but using the same input for both machines. So, for example, a mouse or a keyboard that would be interchangeable between multiple machines. So the software is going back and forth and stretching back and forth. So you can go from one computer to the other without having to use a different keyboard or a mouse. So that's a really cool idea, but unfortunately, the 1.x series of Synergy has been deprecated, and the 2.x series is very different, and they have changed the approach in a very weird way. One of the things that turns me off of Synergy now is that they made it so that when you connect to the machines, you also have to ping their servers for every connection. So you really they're trying to they're making their own server like a middleman type. And while in some cases that kind of thing is not that bad to do, it could be beneficial depending on the software. But in this, that means that you would not be able to use the software without being on the internet. So if you're in a local intranet structure, you wouldn't be able to use it at all. And that kind of defeats the point in a lot of ways. So if you're at an enterprise or a company structure and you have multiple computers you got to work with, you can't without being actually access to the internet. So this is a fork of that. Barrier is a fork of Synergy's 1.9 code base. So you can totally check out that. So it's a pretty interesting approach. There's also some hardware approaches if you like, but I think this is a really nice way to continue the ability to have that functionality without having to use Synergy. So if you do give Barrier a try, let me know what you think in the comments or in the Telegram group by going to touchdigital.com/telegram, and just let me know what you think. I kind of wish they were calling it Unbarrier, but anyway. Yeah, Jacob, it has changed a lot. Yeah, it's gotten a lot better. Synergy has worked for a long time with Linux. There's been support for that for a while. But as far as Barrier, I haven't tried it, so I don't know. I would assume so because it was on the last version of the 1.x series, but I'm not totally sure. All right. Okay. Switch back to that. So good. So good. All right. 52. We got a lot of great news for the Linux kernel this week. There might be a release Linus announced that it's possible that the Linux 4.16 kernel will be released very soon, within a few days or so even. But I also want to talk about that they have released 4 new updates for the stable kernels that are currently supported: 4.4, 4.9, 4.14, and 4.15 all had point release updates. So that is really nice because they're all improving various different things, including some security features with like Spectre and Meltdown. So that's fantastic to see. But let's talk about 4.16 that's coming out. They've merged a VirtualBox guest driver so that you wouldn't have to install guest editions inside of different distributions because they would be automatically installed by default with the driver. There are other kernel drivers that are still being worked on in VirtualBox, but the guest driver is one of the most important, I think, as far as like an experience inside of a virtual machine for a Linux distribution. So this means that if someone's a Windows user and they wanted to try out Linux, they wouldn't have to know about guest editions or install them. They would be able to just try out Linux in a way that it was kind of meant to be. So that's pretty cool. They've also added support for more ARM boards, specifically Orange Pi version 1, the Hummingbird 2, and even a D-Link NAS enclosure. There's also support for NVIDIA's Jetson TX2 display support and Tegra TX2 improvements. And there's a lot of more things like that improvement. There's been a lot of file system storage improvements, like ButterFS RAID 5 and 6 had a lot of fixes being done, so that's always good. There was a few months ago there was some news about that wasn't so good, but it's nice to see that they're fixing them up. One of the cool things about it is that AMD GPU DC now supports multiple display synchronization, so you can have a better multi-monitor experience with like the new graphics cards from AMD. So that's very cool. Now, that's the 4.16 kernel, but I also want to talk about the 4.17 kernel that's coming out because there's even cooler things coming with that too. I'm not really sure if it's cooler because the VirtualBox was pretty cool. But the AMD GPU DC that we just talked about is coming by default enabled in 4.17. You can activate it in 4.16, but by default it will be enabled in 4.17. So that is nice. You can have discrete GPU support in AMD KFD. These initialisms are so fun to say. You notice that? There's not that many. Oh, there's a ton. Anyway, that's not. So the Intel Cannon Lake Gen 10 graphics are now considered stable and will be enabled by default in 4.17. They're also adding AMD Vega 12 support. They're adding support for the ACPI time and alarm driver and a really interesting RC flight controller driver for the Phoenix RC controller. And it's like, if you fly model planes or model helicopter, things like that, the Phoenix RC flight controller was for that. And maybe even potentially you can make it work with like a drone or something. I don't know. But anyway, this is really cool news, and we'll see when it comes out and see which distro becomes the fastest to adopt. As becoming the #1 RC controller distro. I don't know. Anyway. And 57:10. Thanks for coming to the stream, Johan. I appreciate it. Is it just me, or is the chat quiet this week? It could be me. Am I boring? Are the topics boring? If so, my bad. Golang junkie, I'm busy. That makes sense. I know there's a lot of people who just listen and don't communicate in the chat, and that's totally fine. I'm just kidding anyway. VBox integration is awesome. I agree. It's you. Nice. I'm a bit tired today too. That's weird. What is this day? Like, why is it? I was screwing with Discord's new someone feature. What's that, Bryant? I haven't heard about that one. Like, what's the benefit? I mean, at everyone I get, but at someone? Like, what is that for? Roulette for tagging people. Why? Why is that a thing? I like it, but why is that a thing? Just because it's like just fun ridiculousness, I guess? It just tags a random person. I like it. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. So, this week we got a really nice update from Valve. They decided to open source their their game networking sockets library. And this is a transport layer for games for networking. It's a networking transport layer. So it was based on, it was just a Steam only thing. So this could be cool. So it could be included into other other games where not having to require the Steam platform. That is very nice. So what the transport layer uses a custom like connection oriented protocol, but it also has they've changed it to, instead of it's message oriented instead of stream oriented, like for example TCP would be. Overall, this is like a fantastic thing because it has bandwidth estimation. It has encryption based on AES per packet. Like it has a way to simulate like tools for simulating loss and stats for like detailed stats measurements. So like overall, this is a really nice thing for them to be just decide to open source it, and because that's fantastic. But it's not. They're still working on the functionality of it. So like not everything is full open source, and not everything is like developer friendly yet, or open source friendly, I guess I would say. So they are continuing to work on that, and they just ask people to bear with them, but it will become like fully open sourced pretty I don't know when, but hopefully pretty soon. Just for giggles. I like it. Half-Life 3 confirmed. Yep. It's netcode. It's package management, basically. You promised us Windows topic. There is one Windows topic at the very end. So if you want to stick around, it will be there. You're welcome. Enjoy. Uh, let's see. So what chip processor is more friendly to Linux now? AMD or Intel? It's always been Intel. AMD's working on it, and they have a lot of potential to be better overall. But right now, they're still building out their support, and I don't know exactly when the AMD GPU stack will be reliable yet. Like the main thing about AMD is they're in a state where their processors have really good support, but you have to have newer hardware in order to use it. And you can't if you have old AMD hardware, it's worthless. The drivers are irrelevant and they don't care. So you have to get new hardware in order to do AMD. And like they have a lot of potential because they're not only open sourcing their CPU stack, they're open sourcing their GPU stack. Not all of it, but a lot of it. So there's a lot of potential that AMD will supplant Intel and Nvidia. But right now, they haven't. And who knows? Because I wouldn't be comfortable recommending AMD like throughout for everyone because it depends on what someone does with their computers. But some people can totally use AMD without any issue like throughout the whole stack. Just depends on what's needed. Toby, I did actually think about doing an April Fool's part of the show, but I don't know if I will or not. I like the direction Valve is going as well, Ski. Welcome to the stream, Lamer Linux. The Alliance for Open Media has announced the public availability of AO Media Video Codec, AV1, which delivers cross-platform 4K UHD or higher online video. That sounds pretty cool. I mean, technically, the H.264 is not royalty free, but they have made a commitment to not sue anyone or charge any royalties. So, like, it's kinda, but not legally, sorta. But it is pretty cool that AV1 is doing that. But it's better compression anyway, so that's more important regardless. But I wonder how it supports how it compares to H.265 though. Welcome to the stream, Rose. And I'll need to check out the AV1. Might be in the next episode. We'll see. Okay. Welcome to the stream, Steve. Last week we talked about the GNOME memory leak that the GNOME shell was having. And this week I wanted to bring it back up because there is some really good news that the leak has been identified in the garbage collection of the GNOME shell, or Mutter specifically. And it seems that it wasn't. If you're not sure what garbage collection is the process of taking memory that is currently being used by some kind of application, and once it's no longer being used, to automatically remove that usage of the RAM, the memory. So instead of having it just waste the space while it doesn't need to be there, it just goes ahead and automatically deletes it and takes it out of memory. Unfortunately, the problem was that the GNOME shell is not properly doing that, so it's leaving some of the garbage collecting still there. And this the leak is pretty much that. This bug is being currently worked on. They have identified what the problem is, and they've already started working on a patch to fix it. We don't know exactly when they're going to be able to fix it, but they did say that by 3.30 of GNOME Shell 3.30, we'll have the support, have the fix. Now, whether it's going to be in 18.04 for Ubuntu or not, we don't know for sure yet, but it is marked as critical and high priority for both Ubuntu 17.10 and 18.04. So if it does get fixed within the time period before 18.04 gets released, it will most likely, almost guaranteed, be added. But we don't really know for sure yet. Once we get the update, I'll let you know. But I also want to take some time to mention there was a nah, I'll leave that off. That's a live stream only thing. I'll tell you about it because it's maybe not that useful for everybody. But there was an interesting thing I found out recently, is that the GNOME Shell leak thing has been known about for years, but not everybody knew about it, including the GNOME team. There was multiple bug reports scattered like in random distros and all kinds of things that are essentially talking about the same thing, but they're all like they're in like an obscure distro or they're in a distro like Ubuntu, but they weren't being triaged at all. And so that means like the developers and maintainers weren't paying attention to those types of bugs. So, for example, there was one bug report that was talking about the leak, and there was the leak was that the leak the guy found was that he would change the wallpaper through an extension, and it would automatically add more RAM. And every time he did it, it would do more. So he posted that bug report in 2015, or February of 2015, and no one had actually commented on it at all until May of 2017. So that means that it's an interesting situation because this particular type of problem, a lot of users aren't aware who to tell the problem to. And in this particular case, the person who was supposed to be triaging the bug didn't do it. But also, GNOME in 2015 was not relevant to Ubuntu. So it makes kind of sense that they would be focusing on Unity rather than GNOME. And then essentially like a month after the announcement that they were switching to GNOME, the bug was triaged. But then there was confusion as to like what exactly was going on. So it eventually just kind of like fizzled out as far as that particular bug. So I just found it pretty interesting that that particular bug was automatically closed due to inactivity the day before the leak itself got a lot of publicity. So it's been around for 3 years. Or that bug report has been around for 3 years. It's so weird, and the main point is, if you're going to submit a bug report, try your best to submit it to the people who are most likely to fix it. So, for example, this person submitting it to Ubuntu, they should have submitted it to the GNOME team rather than the Ubuntu team, because the Ubuntu team at the time weren't even focused and didn't even care about GNOME in the first place. So, like, it makes more sense. It makes sense that they wouldn't pay attention to it. And it also is a thing about distro maintainers should pay attention to, instead of just saying this is not relevant or, this version of the distro that you had the problem with is no longer in support, so we're just going to ignore it entirely. Which is kind of what they did. It'd be better if they were to, just say, hey, this is a GNOME bug. You should contact the GNOME developers to talk about, like, have them fix it, which is what is happening now. So, just a good example of something that was very important to fix, and like pretty much every side was like had miscommunication problems for a long time. Still haven't forgiven AMD for disowning my Radeon card. Um, yeah, I have a laptop with AMD, and they disowned it very quickly. So I'm not a fan of AMD. I mean, I have potential to be a fan, and they could change my mind because they are doing a ton of really awesome things. But there is that stigma of 10 years ago, you basically tell me to screw myself. So, so you know. Toby, I mean, Gnome is good for some people. So, like, this is more of like a topic that I wanted to talk about in the sense of, like, I was going to put it in the show, but then I decided maybe not because it might seem like I'm attacking some people, but I'm not. I'm not attacking any of them. It's more like that happens often, and this is one that has potential to be a very big problem, and it was still not addressed because the confusion between the person submitting it, who they submitted it to, the people who they submitted it to aren't really focused on that particular thing, so they should submit it to someone else. The people who they were submitted to should have still, even though they didn't have anything to do with it and they weren't going to fix it, they could have triaged it to Gnome and said, or at least said to them, hey, you should submit this to Gnome because it's their relevance. It's relevant to them, not us. Here's a link. That would have been solved. It could have been solved a couple years ago had that been done. So that's why, like, this kind of like a high profile type of topic is interesting because it applies to all projects. Monte and XFC are great as well. Goling junkie. Did you know Linux is everywhere? That's right. Did you know that Linux is everywhere? You can get your own Linux is everywhere T-shirt. Ski had a good point. If you're interested, go to tuxdigital.com/Linux is everywhere to get your own Linux is everywhere T-shirt. It's the shirt I made. I designed. Didn't technically make the shirt, but I designed the shirt to convey that the message of the proliferation of Linux is so great that you might not even know that Linux is there, but it probably is. And that's why Tux is blended into the background of the shirt, because Tux is going to probably is going to be there, even if you know it or not. So, tuxdigital.com/Linux is everywhere. Shameless plug. Hashtag. Thanks, Ski. I was to report a bug and GNOME screenshot. They wanted me to install an application to report the bug. I installed it, but it told me that it's not supported on Ubuntu. Oh, wow. I mean, the bug report that they made, that the person who made it originally, they made a video like demonstrating the problem. So, like, a lot of the time people who do bug reports are not useful, but sometimes they are. But as far as like the GNOME team, I don't know, because sometimes they're very open to bug reports and sometimes they're not. It depends on what it is, I guess, which is unfortunate. GNOME does a better job with old AMD cards than other DEs. That's interesting. How old is your AMD card? I know you say which one it was, but I don't remember how old that one is. if NVIDIA open source anything, it would improve everything. Like that's the like either one of them fully open sourcing would be great. 10 years. Oh, okay. I have a 10-year-old laptop with AMD in it. I think it's been deprecated for sure. Like I don't think it even works at all anymore. Should you make a screenshot of known screenshot sag faulting? Yes. Yes, you should. Using Spectacle from Plasma. Not really. Although there is Shutter's really good. I prefer Shutter for GDK. Except for that, what was that name of that? Flame Shot? I think that's what it's called. Flare Shot? I think it's Flame Shot. That's a really cool screenshot tool. That's a really cool screenshot tool. I don't know. What? Nice. I used I covered Flame Shot on the show a couple weeks ago, or a couple episodes ago, and it was really cool. Open Media Vault 3.0.99 was released this week, and this is mostly like a maintenance update, but I wanted to give some attention to, or promotion, I guess, to Open Media Vault because it is a great distribution for network attached storage, or NAS. It provides, okay, first it is a Debian based distro for network attached storage solutions. If you've ever heard of FreeNAS, FreeNAS is a network attached storage based on FreeBSD, and Open Media Vault is the same kind of thing but based on Debian. So if you're looking for a Linux based distro for a NAS, Open Media Vault is a really good option for that. They have a lot of different services, and like they support SSH, Samba, SFTP, BitTorrent, even rsync to share files back and forth, because it's a storage, so you have to have a transfer protocols, and it has a ton of support for various different protocols. But what it's really cool about it is that the administration of it is like a web-based approach, so you don't really have to install anything on the other machines that you're using it with. As long as they support those protocols, you can just set it up to just sync the files from the main machine to the NAS server, the Open Media Vault server. So it's very nice. If you're interested in any kind of like NAS solution, check out Open Media Vault 3.0.99. Told him Tim was 8 years ago. Yeah, it does feel really weird, huh? Makes me feel really bad when I say, or not bad, but like really weird when I say, someone's like, when did you start using Linux? I mean, technically 1999. So, I mean, almost 20 years. That's not when I went primary or anything, but that's when the first time I used it was 99. And it was not fun. I did not want to party in 1999 with Linux. That's a Prince reference. Anyway. have screen tearing issues with it. Oh, okay. That makes sense. All right. Got a comment, I think. Oh, that. Next topic. You know how earlier I said I don't talk about just any kind of project that is beta, that isn't, doing something interesting or coming out pretty soon. So, anyway, remember when I mentioned that? Well, let's talk about some beta stuff. It is coming out soon, and it is interesting. But still. You didn't enjoy entering the refresh rate of your monitor into the X-Free config file? What? Who doesn't enjoy that? It's the best fun person can have. Okay. Pop exclamation point underscore OS had an update this week for a release of the 1804 testing ISOs. So you can try out 1804 version of Pop OS if you'd like to. But they also had some interesting updates for the Pop Shop. And which, by the way, Pop OS, I don't like the name of your distro. I don't have a problem with the term Pop OS, but the exclamation point and underscore is a little ridiculous. However, I am a big fan of that term Pop Shop. That is fun. So good job on that one. Except for the exclamation underscore. Take that off. Pop Shop. That's fun. Anyway, so they had a lot of interesting progress for the Pop Shop. And that is, you can see the download size of an application in application listings. And what's even cooler is that it's not just the deb file, for example. It includes the dependencies as well. So you see the full amount that you'll need to install before installing it, or before running. Like if you install an application through apt, it will tell you how much will be used. But if you're using like a software center, they typically don't. They don't tell you the full set. This is going to add that, so that is very nice. And they've also added some new graphical assets to the Pop Shop. So I look forward to trying out, the new version of the Pop Shop, just so I can say that even more. Anyway, System 76 also added that they are having support for the NVIDIA Titan V GPU. Now, if you haven't heard of that, that is a ridiculously powerful GPU, and it's also ridiculously expensive. So I don't know if it's the most powerful, like outright, an AMD Vega series might fight it, like the Threadripper or something might, I don't know, challenge it. But it's one of the top. And the cost of the Titan V is $3,000. So it's, it's interesting that they put the effort into making the Titan V work for Pop OS, but so I don't know how many people are going to be able to justify the cost of a Titan V. I know I'm not going to. So maybe someday when the Titan V becomes, the V for $5. Okay, that's a little extreme. Well, either way. So if you do have a Titan V, you can totally use the Pop Shop in Pop OS. I just like saying Pop Shop. It is fun. I think I said it about 10 times. I don't know. Pop shop. Yeah, 3,000 is the MSRP. Like what? $3,000. No. The Titan X, which is like the lower end version of the Titan V, that one is $1,800. So you're getting a deal. Yeah. You can take the money that would cost to buy the Titan V and buy a whole computer fully decked out with like massively powerful hardware and still have about $1,000 left over. 10 out of 10 pop shops. I agree, Toby. I agree. 10 out of 10 pop shops. All right. Next up in the show. We're just cranking through. Not really. It's still about an hour and a half, and I'm still only halfway done. So, you know, it's at least there's not like a 30-minute window of like not doing the show like it usually is. At least I didn't do that yet. Better than 5 hours to go. There you go. That's true. That's true. Do I have one that's like that? Does this have anything on there? I was checking to see if there was any music playing on that one. Turns out there is. So, there you go. What was I doing? Oh, this one. Okay, cool. Totally forgot for a second. Was that a pop shop? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Okay. Next topic. The next topic on the show. Cubes OS 4.0. Anyway. I don't know. Don't ask. I don't know. Cubes OS. This stream is totally pop shop. Totally pop shop. Cubes OS 4.0 was released this week, and it has a ton of features and improvements added since the previous version, since 3.2. First up, they've added the ability to switch from HVM to PVH for most virtual machines in response to the Meltdown Spectre problem, so they've mitigated that. They've added some features to rename a virtual machine direct. Okay. They've made it possible to clone a VM into a new name and then automatically remove the old VM, but not to have a VM be directly renamed because that creates conflicts within inside the system. So that's an interesting approach to solve that problem. You can now create USB virtual machines. That's interesting. It's non-encrypted backups are no longer supported. So that's an interesting way of doing it. So like if you want to do a backup of your VMs, you have to encrypt it now. So that's that's a nice security improvement. And overall, there's been a lot of updates. For example, like kernel 4.9.x series was updated to that series. They've added um, more flexible firewall improvements, like the unikernel integration is added. They've also added some improvements to touchpad issues and like fix some like bug reports, things like that. So overall, if you haven't tried it, CubesOS is a distribution to basically manage virtual machines easily. So you would install CubesOS, then you would install other distributions as virtual machines inside of CubesOS, and it's a really nice approach. And it's a really nice UI. It's really nice, like organized and things like that. So if you haven't given it a shot, feel free to do so. It is a very interesting thing. And on their front page, they have some like testimonials or opinions from people, including Edward Snowden. So if that helps you want to check it out, it is very much security oriented and privacy oriented. So CubesOS 4.0 was released. All right, thanks for coming to the stream, Watson. Have a good one. Ski, I don't know. I mean, CubesOS is not really even a distro. It's a distro to use other distros. It just manages them well. I guess you technically could use it as a distro by itself. Keeps doing that. Like to take a moment to give a happy birthday to Red Hat. They're celebrating 25 years of Red Hat. And they've also made an interesting article you might want to check out. You have a link in the show notes for 25 things you should know about Red Hat. Now, one of the things I actually did not know, kind of disappointed what their answer was, but still interesting to know. The name Red Hat, I always thought came from the terms black hat and white hat hackers and stuff. That's where I thought Red Hat came from. Nope. It's because the founder of Red Hat used to wear a red hat during universities while people asked him for help, and they called him the Red Hat guy. So, somewhat disappointed that it's not related to that, but still interesting because something mundane as the type of hat you wear becomes the name of a company, a mega billion-dollar company, and its longevity, like in the tech space, longevity is like amazing because they've been around for so long that they've seen so many things happening in the tech space that most companies, if they last 5 years, they are incredibly lucky. And Red Hat's lasted 25 years, so that's pretty awesome. So anyway, once again, happy birthday to Red Hat. I almost made that Pop Shop reference about getting a hat. I almost did that, Ski. But I decided not to say that. Like maybe Red Hat should make it possible to buy red hats in the Pop Shop. I'm still excited about 4.16, including guest editions. Exactly. That's fantastic. I can't wait for that to happen. Because that's going to make it so much better for people to try out Linux in a VirtualBox. Because, a lot of Windows users do that the first time they use it. And it's actually kind of one of the suggestions is to use Linux inside of a virtual machine before you try it out in your hardware, which is problematic until now. 4.16 is going to make that even better, so you don't have to worry about adding for the distro adding the drivers. A lot of distros do add the drivers, but not all of them. And Red Hat manages the servers of Windows. Yep, they do. They also have partnerships with Windows and Microsoft for like .NET and stuff. And then there's Serge. Hey, Serge, I think you were here that one time. My lunch today before the stream was rice. XDevs23, welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. Was the rice black? No, it was not. I made cheese and broccoli rice. Is Red Hat any good for private use? No. Private enterprise use? Yes. But Red Hat is not a distro for anyone other than servers. Although Red Hat does make Fedora, technically. I don't know if they technically make it, but they do fund it, and they are directly partnership with Fedora, and it is like a Red Hat project thing. But I don't think the developers in Red Hat necessarily also are developers for Fedora. And there's kind of like a disconnect, sort of. But there is still it's still heavily involved. And CentOS is like a free. Well, Red Hat's technically free, but CentOS is also free. And it's I guess you could say CentOS is like a community edition of Red Hat that Red Hat also owns. So you could use that for a server, which I do use CentOS for a lot of things. Like CentOS is probably the best web server solution, depending on what you're doing. If you're doing like an appliance-based thing, then Ubuntu might be better. But, as far as like desktop usage, no. Definitely not Red Hat. Or CentOS. And no, I don't know if it's CentOS or CentOS. No idea. I should totally find that out. I should totally find that out. And next topic. Next up in the show is Slacks 9.4 was released, and Slacks is a Debian-based distribution, and a lot of this is mostly a maintenance features and bug fixes and things like that. But there are some nice, cool add-ins to the distribution for this release. So first up, they've added the ability to easily switch off and on Wi-Fi devices with RF Kill. They've improved icon detection for various different applications. When selecting an icon for an individual like dialogue thing. Enable hotkeys and also config, so you can make it easier to control the volume for your sound devices. They've added X Archiver, so you can more easily create archives and extract archives. But probably the most interesting thing that they've added for this particular release is a shortcut system for apps that will auto-install and then run applications. So, for example, you could have a shortcut on the desktop or in the menu system that is for an application that you do not currently have installed. But if you choose to open it, it will first install that application and will prompt you to install that application and then open it afterwards. So it's like a much easier, like a barrier to entry for people who aren't necessarily familiar with certain applications that are available via Debian repos. They make it easier to get certain things depending on which repo they're in. So that's a really interesting approach for Slacks. So if you're interested in checking it out, Slacks 9.4 Linux. Or I'm not sure. Nah. I don't know. So anyway, if you're interested in checking it out, Slacks 9.4 distribution. I almost said GNews / Linux thing, but I was like, meh. I don't know if they care. So, Wood Beast, let's pretend I was. Welcome to the stream. Pop Shop. Nice ski. Just random Pop Shop. I like it. Okay. Next one should be ready. Toby, coming soon. Touch Digital on Pop Shop. If they would let me, I would. Put a little download for I don't know. What would it be? That's one video that's just an advertisement for the shirt. Yeah, pop exclamation point _ shop. Yes. George James says I still can't decide on GNOME or KDE. I prefer KDE Plasma. However, depends on what you need it for and what your preference of usage is. Because GNOME could be quite good as well. come on. Next up in the show is the Canonical Corner, where we got an interview with Swapnil and Mark Shuttleworth. Yeah, that was so weird. That is so weird. I am not keeping it. Next up in the show is the Canonical Corner. This week, Mark Shuttleworth had an interview with Swapnil Bhatia. Hope I said that one right. I don't know. Swapnil does a lot of journalism for Linux and open source. So you haven't heard of him, go check him out. There's links for this videos in the video description or show notes. And he's talking about the Canonical's approach to an IPO and what Mark Shuttleworth's opinion on doing it and when it might happen. Overall, it's a pretty cool video. You should check it out. But he says that he sees that in the future, Canonical will have partnerships with basically every large company, whether that's desktop, server, IoT, or whatever. They expect to have support, some kind of partnership with pretty much every big company. So that is that kind of a goal shows that they are, very serious about the approach for the company. Next up, we got a final, not necessarily final, they might change a little bit, but an official list for the removed items in Ubuntu 18.04 minimal installation. So, notably, would be Thunderbird, LibreOffice, like the Transmission GTK app, GNOME To Do, Baobab, Rhythmbox, Cheese, Shotwell, Totem, and a bunch of other things like Simple Scan and the calendar apps, stuff like that. So it's basically going to remove all of the applications that might not be the preferred for like an experienced user. So you can install the distribution and then put whatever you want on it. So that's a really cool thing. So if you want to check out the full list, there's quite a bit more, but most of it's more like dependencies of the applications rather than full new applications. So anyway, if you want to check it out, links are in the show notes. And finally, this week, we got some updates from the Snapcraft team regarding updates to snapcraft.io. One of the things that is really cool about this is that they've added initial support for bases to target a new core base snap. So you can add, instead of just the core snaps, you can have new cores and, customize not necessarily dependencies, but the way snaps work is that you can either have everything all included, or you can have core snaps, which are essentially runtimes, and they're improving the workflow and the functionality of those particular implementations. But another thing that they're adding is the ability to have better app integration with AppStream. So AppStream is a standard for data, like metadata for applications. You'll see it in RPMs and debs a lot. Not all applications have AppStream data included, but for a large majority of them do. And snaps didn't really work that well with the AppStream data, but now in future releases for snaps, they will. And that is great. So it'll be better integration with various different software stores, application installation systems, and maybe it would benefit the Pop Shop. So yeah, Pop Shop. Did I put that in there just to say Pop Shop again? No. But I saw the opportunity, had to take it. George James, have you tried the Juke music player? Yes, I have. Not a fan. There are certain things I like about it and certain things that annoy me. Don't remember what those were. Either one. I do like the way it looks. I do like the style that they have. But there was something about the playlist system that didn't work that I didn't like. I don't remember exactly what. But I did like it overall, but there was like this like paper cuts that just annoyed me. But overall it's pretty nice. Do they sell crop tops at the pop shop? They should. They should, Kevin. Welcome to the stream, Kevin. Yeah, Shane. I mean, it's not for everybody. So if you didn't like plasma, then I understand. You should totally give it a longer test run, I guess. Or wait until I provide a video of how to make plasma look and function like GNOME, but have all the benefits of plasma on top. That might be something you'd be interested in. That's actually literally how I use plasma, is the workflow of GNOME on top of plasma. So, yeah. If you are interested in that, let me know. Drop the mic on that pop shot. All right, cool. I will definitely make a video for that. Like, I had that plan to do that anyway, but I didn't know if people would be interested in it because it's kind of like, sacrilege, I guess. GNOME people wouldn't be happy about it. The plasma people wouldn't be happy about it. I don't know. Maybe the plasma people would be happy about it, showing how you could do the GNOME workflow in plasma. I don't know. I think, Serge, you're talking about Ask DOSGeek about i3. I think that's what you mean. Yeah. i3 is pretty good. Definitely not for everybody. Definitely not. Toby, what I'd like to see is more like a hidden features of KDE. You did a little bit in one live stream. Yes, I will definitely do that. At least until Sway's ready. I mean, Sway's basically i3 though, but for Wayland. So you're basically saying i3 is better, but the newer version of i3 would be better. Which, fair enough. So, Toby, I will totally make that video for the hidden features of Plasma. I have a bunch of videos I want to make. Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Let's test something. I do not have it on there. Okay, so I just now added a idea to the to-do list for gnome workflow inside of KDE Plasma because I had planned to do that and didn't put it on the list and would have guaranteed forgot that. So also the suggestion for hidden features. Let's do that too. Yep, not on there. All right. Let's add that. All right. That's added too. So, to-do list now contains both those suggestions. So thanks for reminding me about that, Toby. Way cooler is pretty cool too. What's interesting? Did you see the news about previous 3 episodes ago, maybe 2? I don't remember. There was a thing that the fundraiser that the Sway team, as well as Way Cooler, as well as Waymonad, and another one I don't remember, that are like working together to create a underlying library that's going to benefit all of the tiling window managers on Wayland. That is very cool. And they recently did like a live stream like development sprint thing. It's pretty cool. I mean, it wasn't the most exciting thing because it was development, but it was still a really cool thing to see, be tried and stuff. I think they did it on Twitch. WL Roots, exactly. WL Roots. Exactly. One of my viewers did help me with my Wacom tablet problem on KDE. KDE was my first experience in Linux 2004. Oh, nice. So you want to try GIMP 2.10 RC? Yes, I have. I haven't used GIMP in so long that I forgot some of the things. So testing it, I got to get back into the, remind myself of how it works. I forgot to mention something. Another one thing. That's fine. Whatever. I think I'll do cleanup afterwards. GIMP decided that 2.10 will switch to the single window mode for the interface instead of that weird palette random windows everywhere thing that they do now. I mean, it's taking them a very long time to do that, and it's kind of ridiculous, but it is nice to see that they are doing it because the other way is super ancient and needs to go. Although it is cool that they're keeping it for people who do want it, so that's good. All right. Hey, dude. Oh yeah, that's a good question. Forgot about that surge. I know you use Darktable, Shane, but do you also use Raw Therapy or Photox? To this week, we got an announcement for the Humble Indie Bundle 19. They have a lot of interesting games in this one. One I'm definitely I already own this one, but it'd be really nice to have it for a very cheap price. Even anyway, Polybridge is a really fun like bridge constructor thing for like a physics game. And also, I haven't tried this yet, and I totally want to do it. So I'm probably gonna get this bundle anyway, just for this one thing. But there's a game called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. That's such a weird, interesting game that I want to check it out. So there's also a lot of cool other games like Soma, and the Super Hot game is a really interesting approach to like a first-person shooter type. It's very stylistic. So, and in a couple more days, we'll get even more games to see what's coming out. Like if you in the second tier of the bundle. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. But before we go to the next topic, I wanted to mention that the link in the show notes for the Humby. Before we go to the next topic, I just wanted to mention that the link in the show notes for the Humble Indie Bundle 19 is an affiliate link that supports the Tux Digital channel. So if you do decide to purchase the Humble Indie Bundle, I would appreciate it if you do use that link so that the Tux Digital channel will get some credit, gets a little commission for it. So anyway, I'm definitely going to get it just for the, a couple of these games like the Keep Talking and the Super Hot. So anyway, let me know if you do get it. Let me know what you think about the those games, and maybe we can play some multiplayer with it. Because there's a few like the Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes is a multiplayer game, so that would definitely be fun to play with like a community thing. So anyway, Humble Indie Bundle 19. I haven't tried Mini Metro, that's why I didn't mention it. It looked fun, but I haven't played it. But and also only spent a little bit of time on that one because I couldn't get uh, the video wasn't loading for some reason. I was probably having like connection problems or something. He's still streaming. Dark one. Yes. It's been 2 hours though. It's not been 5. So I'm making improvements. Humble Indie Bundle on the Pop Shop. Yep. Soma alone is worth the price. I actually haven't played Soma, but it does look interesting, so I totally want to play that too. Let's see. Someone from the live chat, Dark One, to let us know that he thinks that that's weird, the way I said that. Just a reminder, the stream, what am I saying? It's like the words are just falling out of my face. Just a reminder, we do a live stream every week for the show, and in the topic for a Humble Indie Bundle, the Dark One in the chat mentioned that he thinks that Soma alone by itself is worth the price of the bundle. So that's something to think about. And also remember, affiliate link, hashtag shameless plug. Free, no paid DLC stuff like many other games. That is cool. Yeah, Rocket League does that too, where they have massive updates with new maps and new. They also do paid stuff, but they do maps, modes, items, all kinds of stuff. Is it only the gaming topics now, or are you going to talk about other topics? That's the only gaming topic on the episode. Wouldn't be a show without a shameless plug. I agree. You were actually not here earlier in the live stream. I did talk about the shirt, so I did that's 2 shameless plugs. One in the show and one just in the stream. There you go. I do shameless plugs. Perfectly fine. It's my thing. Because it links is everywhere. Exactly. Exactly true. All right, so it looks like my dog is going to not be happy until I take him outside for a second. So I will be back in a couple minutes, so he will calm down and start. Because he's whining right now. I don't know if you can hear him. He's whining right now, but he's about to jump up on the chair and all this other stuff because that's what he does. So I'll be right back in a couple minutes. You want to jump up for a second? Come here. There you go. See, there he is. Let's go. Be right back. The shirt is not available in the pop shop. It should be, though. Puppy Linux time. Nice. All right. I have returned. Now let's go back to the topics. A Puppy Linux pop shop. What was I doing? That one. All right, cool. Come on, every time? Really? So you know how all the Android phones have really old kernels? In fact, most of them have like 3.18. If they haven't updated, they're like not brand new. And even if they are brand new, they have like 4.4 kernel. Like they're just super ancient. Well, Plasma Mobile team and the Holium team have been working on getting mainline kernels to work inside of these various different devices. So this post from the Plasma Mobile team from Bhushan, I think that's how you say it. Sorry if I messed that up. He was able to get initial support for the Nexus 5 to use the mainline kernel with Plasma Mobile. So this particular test has version 4.9, and it has a lot of, like, it didn't support some of the features, but it's an initial developer build, so it's not intended to do that yet. They're gonna work on that and improve some things like that. But it is possible to run this particular build on both the Nexus 5 and a Sony Xperia X2. So the approach they're doing is seem to be working on various different devices. So it's really cool to see. And they've said that if you'd like to try it out and and give some feedback, that you can find them at Plasma Mobile at matrix.org, or technically it's #plasmamobile:/matrix.org, or I'll just have a link in the show notes if you'd like to try this out. So Plasma Mobile, Nexus 5, mainline kernel, fantastic news. And next up, bam. I so want to Librem 5 too. Yep. I'm looking forward to that. I like how they do their Kickstarter. Because Kickstarter, if you miss the Kickstarter, it's over. You can't get the benefits of the rewards. Because they did it on their own site, they have their own crowdfunding thing. You can still, right now, even though it's been months, you can still go and join the crowdfunding to get one of the phones. So if they keep it up until a week or two before it actually comes out, I might jump onto it and do it, and get it then. Who knows? We'll see. But it's kind of cool that you can still do it. All right. And next topic. Do you have any Plasma Mobile devices? No, I do not. However, I do have a spare Nexus 5 that is broken that I will be trying to fix so I can put Plasma 5 on it. So once I get that fixed, yes, I will have Plasma 5. Anyway, Plasma Mobile on it. I also want to try Ubuntu Touch on it and some other stuff. So like Lineage OS and that Elo thing that they're making. That's a fork of lineage, like all kinds of stuff. I want to try all kinds of stuff on the thing because the Nexus 5 seems to be supported by every platform at this point. So I want to play with the one that I have that is currently broken as soon as I fix it. So I will. Okay. O2. Welcome to the stream, Toss. Next up in the show, DuckDuckGo announced a privacy challenge, the $500,000 DuckDuckGo privacy challenge for 2018. Now, this is a really cool campaign because it's like a crowdfunding thing plus a giveaway donation system thing, like contest sort of. Anyway, so the way it's structured is based from now, well, actually from when they announced it, to April 10th, they will be conducting this challenge sort of thing. And whichever, whatever privacy security oriented projects and organizations and things like that are competing for getting donations from DuckDuckGo. Now, what's really cool about the way they're doing it is that it's based on the amount of funds that they can do to get donations for the individual project. So, for example, Let's Encrypt and Tails and things like that are a part of the project, or part of the challenge. And like the Freedom of the Press Foundation, Fire for the Future, and Tor, and etc. There's all these are participating in the challenge. Now, whichever organization wins the challenge, they get the money that they raised from the crowdfunding, but they also get, depending on what place they make, money from DuckDuckGo. So, for example, the first place organization gets $50,000 donation directly from DuckDuckGo on top of whatever other whatever donations they got from the crowdfunding, and the second place gets $40,000, $35,000 for third, $30,000 for fourth, $25,000 for fifth, and etc. So it goes, I think, up to 16. I think it was 16 places that get donations. Might be more. I might be wrong about that, but I think it was 16. And let's just go ahead and check. Yeah, 16. The top 16 organizations get donations from DuckDuckGo. So that is very cool. And even if an organization loses overall and it doesn't get in the top 16, they still get to keep whatever money that they crowdfunded for the challenge in the first place. So this is like DuckDuckGo does not get anything from this. They're just doing this campaign to sort of, invigorate donations for these projects, as well as so that they would, give money to the projects themselves as well. So that's a really cool approach for a challenge, and I'm glad to see something like that being done, especially from like DuckDuckGo, because I am a big fan of DuckDuckGo and I use it as my main search engine. Anyway, that was a weird plug, I guess, at the end. So, DuckDuckGo Privacy Challenge 2018. Get Easter eggs in the pop shop. Yes, Ski. You should be able to. If you can't, I would be disappointed. I'd be very disappointed. All right. Next up in the show, and last topic for today, or this episode, I mean. is Windows related, sort of, kind of. Yes, very much, but also not exclusively. So, yay. Everyone excited? Everyone is excited. Me too. Me too. DuckDuckGo is they do need to work on their indexing. That's true. I use DuckDuckGo because one, it has most of the time what I want. When it doesn't, I can also do bang G space and then go to Google and use Google. So that's why I use DuckDuckGo, because I can use Google if I need to, but if I don't need to, why bother? And also the bang system is fantastic. Welcome to the stream, Clive. Not I. What? No, you do not. What? Huh? Say what? Oh, you're not excited. Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes sense. Microsoft announced this week an open sourcing of a Windows subsystem for Linux sample that allows various distributions to create, like distribution maintainers, to create their own version of a distro for the Windows subsystem for Linux, or the WSL, so that you can sideload these custom distributions inside it without having to go through the Windows Store, which is kind of weird considering when Microsoft said that they want people to use the Windows Store, and now this. Anyway, it seems like they just want to make it so that people can do the work for creating Linux distros for the WSL, so they don't have to. And if that's the case, I mean, yeah, that'll probably work. We like to build things, so who knows? Anyway, so that's the one and only Windows topic for this week in Linux. I don't know ever. Probably. We'll see. I don't know. And it's not really a Windows topic. It's more like a Windows Linux hybrid thing. I don't know. Whatever. So yeah, the Windows subsystem for Linux distro launcher sample. I just went back and forth on the microphone, and you couldn't hear that. But it's a Windows topic, so I'm not going to redo it. And fried my brain. Nice. That is the final topic of the week. We have covered many things, from GIMP to Humble Bundle to Slacks to Media Vault, and even, of course, the Pop Shop. So, if you missed it, that's unfortunate, but the edited version will be coming sometime tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe Monday if I screw up or something, but hopefully tomorrow. That's the plan. Windows distros now on the Pop Shop, right? I do want to play with the new version of GIMP, and the new version of Raw Therapy, and the new version of Barrier, and the virtual box thing is pretty cool. So there's a significant amount of good news in this episode. And of course, the new meme of Pop Shop came from this episode. So it's very important. That's what I'm saying. It's a very important episode. It was a big deal. This episode's a big deal. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I'm just saying random words, it seems. They're in a somewhat contextual order, I guess. 1804 does look promising. I agree. Especially Kubuntu 1804. That looks good. And has nothing to do with the fact that I'm contributing to the Kubuntu 1804 release. That has nothing to do with it. I just think it's looking good. All right. So, 2 hours and 30 minutes was this particular episode recording time. I think. What good timing before the dogs barked. Great. Great timing. I don't care that they're barking now because I'm not recording. It's fine. Hey, did you know that Linux is everywhere? Yeah, Ski. That's Ski. The Linux is everywhere t-shirt. You go to touchdigital.com/Linux is everywhere. Or, if that's not your thing, and you'd rather support directly rather than getting a shirt, which is great either way, that would be great too. Check out the Patreon. Wait, what? How's that? Oh, weird. All right. The Patreon at tuxdigital.com/Patreon. You can support us by becoming a patron. And by us, I mean me. But still, support the channel, tuxdigital.com/Patreon. Why do I use tuxdigital.com/Patreon instead of patreon.com/tuxdigital? It's because when I talk about it in the show, and if I ever decide to not use Patreon, I can just redirect that URL to wherever I want. Even if people hear the old one, it'll still take them to the new thing. And that is future-proofing. That is not only a shameless plug, but that is a future-proof shameless plug. There you go. Trademarked. Anyway. Are you selling other t-shirts? No, I'm not. I will. I'm planning on to making a maybe This Week in Linux shirt. I don't know about that one. I'm not sure how many people would want that, but I do plan to make a where is it? I do plan to make a Tux Digital bumper logo thingy shirt where you have like maybe just the big logo, you know, and then the text, or maybe like this, or I don't know, maybe just the icon and the text on the, I don't know, something like that. I'm considering doing that because that'd be cute. They would probably not appreciate a Pop Shop shirt. I don't know. Probably wouldn't want me to do that. All of my URLs should, if you, in the link, that shouldn't happen. Yeah, that worked. What was the thing I was doing? So what was I looking for? Can't remember. Yeah, it works. It doesn't work in the YouTube chat, so I don't provide links. But it's working fine for me as far as typing in. The YouTube ad. Ha! Nice. Nice. Good job, YouTube. Promote me so I don't have to. I like it. Welcome back to the stream, Jansu. Actually, Jansu, I would like to test something with you, if you would not mind. I found something in the YouTube Creator Studio or whatever. But I wanted to test. On that, okay. Can I? How did I find that? That's going to be interesting. Okay, so Jansu, would you make a comment on the chat? Can you on the live? I mean the live stream. Is there like a comment section or is it just chat? Cause I don't actually know. It's just chat. Okay. Would you mind commenting on any video right now, anywhere? For some reason, it won't let me find. I know you commented before, but I can't find it because YouTube comment systems is like just awful. Like it's so confusing on the creator side trying to find comments and stuff. But if you wouldn't mind commenting on a video, like, you know, the last episode or whatever. Unless you already did, then I could just check that out. I don't know. Welcome to the stream, Gabriel. I think I said that right. Yeah, Gabriel, for sure. Using and now playing Linux Mint. Nice. How are you liking? Are you brand new to Linux? And if so, how are you liking Linux Mint? Thanks for coming to the stream, Ski. If you're leaving, but yes, I do plan to be joining Biddle tonight. I told him I might not, so we'll see. Nice. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Cool. I have. Now I want to see. Can you post a link in the live chat? Any link doesn't matter. Well, not any link, but within reason, kind of thing. Afraid of commitments, are we? No. Ski, I am not afraid of commitments. I will happily make a commitment and totally break it. Because that's what I do every week. I'll be here at 1 p.m. Eastern. No, I won't. Most of the time. Rarely. It's happened, but not often. So, I'm not afraid of commitment. I just don't keep them very well, it seems. Even things that doesn't seem like it'd be hard to do, being on time. Doesn't seem like it'd be hard. It is for me, though. It is for me. Although, next week, guaranteed, absolutely 100%, minus maybe 0.6%, 99.4% will be on time. That is the plan. Remove any web addresses and try again. Edit and try again. Okay. I was trying to figure out what this meant. There's a setting in as far as users go in YouTube, and it says you can approve comments and approve users, but I don't know. I was wondering if you approve a user in a comment system, will it approve them for doing links and stuff in the chat? And the answer is no to that, I guess. That is unfortunate. There is no way to allow anyone to post links inside of the live chat without making them a mod. And that's weird, YouTube. It's very weird. And I wanted to see if it was possible to make it without doing mod ship stuff. Because, there's like obligations to mod ships and stuff like that. In my opinion, they will do quantum computers with 128 bits or qubits in the future. I mean, they will do quantum computing, exactly how, I don't know. But 128 bits probably not even necessary for a very long time, like a very long time. Like 100 years, maybe, would be before it's necessary. Yeah, you can do so, Toby, on Twitch. It's a lot easier. But YouTube's live chat is not the best, and by that I mean not good. Not good at all, actually. There's a lot of brokenness. A lot of broken stuff. They added the chat replay that Twitch has had for like a year. It's like, yay, good job trying to catch up, YouTube. Go Lang Junkie. That is the perfect way to not let that happen. Yeah, I can see I understand the whole non-mods posting links by default, but being able to just allow people to post links that I know, are not going to spam and also, don't need to be mods because, the obligation to be a mod and stuff. So, there should be a middle ground. It shouldn't be all or nothing. That's what I'm saying. I'm not a fan of YouTube Live either. All the Linux streams are on YouTube. Toby, my streams for the show, I will be doing Twitch streams as well as YouTube streams. I'm doing currently YouTube streams only because I don't have an audience on Twitch. So when I go live on Twitch, no one knows about it because it no one's subscribed to it. Whereas there's 4,500 people who are subscribed to the YouTube, so they get notified. Well, in theory, as long as YouTube works and lets them be notified. Because a lot of the time that does not happen. If you don't hit that bell, if you subscribe, YouTube actually came out and announced this. If you subscribe to a channel and you do not hit the notification bell, you will not be notified like 50% of the time. It depends on your activity at that point. So if you go to this channel and you're active on a channel, but you didn't click the bell, you may be notified depending on how often you go to their streams or how often you watch their videos. If you hit the bell, you will be notified. But if you don't subscribe to someone and you don't hit the bell, obviously, because you're not subscribed, but you still watch their stuff enough, YouTube still might notify you. It's like, what? You didn't subscribe, but you still tell me and won't tell me about stuff I subscribe to. Really, YouTube? Really? Really? I think it's usually like they have approved comments users, like approved users for comments. Why can't they be approved users for chat? Should be the same thing. Whoever I approve for commenting should be also approved for chat. They already have that system anyway. Just make it work for chat. Done. Yeah, I have used Restream before in the past. I like it, but the problem with Restream is that their chat system is not good. So you have to have if you use the Restream chat, it combines all of the platforms into one chat, but it's very slow. Like, there is a very big delay. So the idea is having a chat for both YouTube and Twitch separately, so I can pay attention more in real time rather than the weird delay from Restream. So that's why it's difficult to do the Restream thing until you have something that can solve the problem with those two. But I am working on that. But I also want to do Twitch gaming stuff too. So I'm going to have the Twitch account I'm going to do the Twitch account for gaming, YouTube mainly for the YouTube like Linux stuff. But it will be like Linux gaming for the Twitch, and also maybe like a multi-stream thing. We'll see. I don't really know how I'm going to do that. But I want to do some gaming stuff, especially like Rocket League, naturally. But I don't know. We have an IRC channel, Jansu. It is hashtag, pound, Tux Digital on Freenode. That is a thing. We also have a Matrix group, Matrix Room, which is Tux Digital, matrix.org. There's also Discord. Welcome to the stream, Woodbeast, and you did miss it, yes. Well, welcome back anyway. Is this show available as a podcast? Good question, Kevin. That is a fantastic question. The answer should be yes. Unfortunately, it is not. So, no. However, it is currently in the process to become a podcast, an RSS audio version. I will be making a podcast feed as soon as the website for the channel is done. The website is about 70% done. This coming week, it will guaranteed to be done. The RSS feed will be guaranteed to be released sometime this coming week. Now, previously, when I say I plan to get it out this coming week, I have failed that multiple times. This time, guaranteed, 99.4% guaranteed. RSS feed, new website. But yes, it should be. It totally should be. Why isn't it? I don't know. I can't explain my own weird, bad decisions. YouTube used to tell me when you started a live stream. Now it doesn't. You're correct, Clive. It does not tell you. Unless you hit the notification bell, it will not. It might tell you. It might not. It's a 50-50 chance. If you hit the notification bell, it will tell you. And that's why YouTube is so fun, right, Clive? Have Twitch live for Firefox, so I see who's live if I'm on Twitch or not. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that existed. Interesting. Aren't you worried about dissing YouTube? No. No ski. He did other things that he got issued, like channel hit stuff for. Like you saying mocking YouTube is not. They're not going to be bothered by that. But they do have like these certain rules that if you don't meet, like that whole like streaming testing stream thing that he did, like that is some reason that's a problem to YouTube. I don't know. Like the things he did are not necessarily bad or anything. It's just saying like it wasn't just making fun of them. Proprietary software that pays a quality and expensive alternative. Let's make the public software that saves in higher. I'm not sure what you're saying. What you mean? There's a ton of high quality open source software. Blender is fantastic, for example. LibreOffice is fantastic. Firefox, Chromium, all of them fantastic. OBS, fantastic. What bell? Oh, you click subscribe. Next to the subscribe button is a little bell. You have to click that to get consistent notifications. Yeah, it's weird. In my videos, I should be like, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell because YouTube's weird. Because some reason you might subscribe to something you didn't mean to, I guess. I don't know. That people say, like, there's some people who have like hundreds of subscriptions to channels. It's like, just bookmark it. If you don't want to be subscribed to something and be notified, bookmark it. I might eventually come back to it, so I'll bookmark it. But I don't want to be notified, so don't subscribe. That should be the method. Like, but I don't know. I don't know. Whatever, I guess. I've been asking for help for the project for months. You tested Rocket Chat on. I mean, it's just mainly a thing about time, about the Rocket Chat thing. In fact, with Rocket Chat, you could do Rocket Chat. You can do a Snap. You can install a Rocket Chat with a Snap. But as far as like the syncing with YouTube, I don't think that's even possible. Like the YouTube chat, I don't think that's possible at all. What is the website being written in? I don't want to answer that, Golang Junkie. You'll see, but I don't want to admit it. As a web developer, designer, and blah. I don't like WordPress. Because WordPress is badly engineered. With that said, the new website will be using WordPress. This is a hobby for you, no? Quit stressing. Jansu, I'm not really sure what you're referring to me stressing about. I don't disagree that I probably was, but I don't remember what it was because of the whole delay thing. But it is currently a hobby, yes. I would like it to not be. That would be amazing. I would like it to be a job because that would be awesome. And I would be making a ridiculous amount of content at that point. Like once a day or something like that. That'd be fantastic. Welcome to the stream, Pizza Loving Nerd. I also am a pizza loving nerd. I might get pizza today. I haven't had pizza in a very long time. So his test stream is a ban, but dissing them is okay. The test stream is like it's not really a ban. It's more of if you do it multiple times or something. I think the first time they ban you, but eventually they would. Yeah, eventually. Smash that like button for sure. Never seen that bell before. Yeah, Clive, that bell has been around for I think a year. It's kind of ridiculous for sure. How many YouTube users even know what a bookmark is? I have no idea. Public software is a fusion between proprietary software and free software that perhaps free public software could succeed. The word public implies things in different, public domain, for example, implies something very different. So I wouldn't use the word public versus free because open source is the best term. Or Libre or Libra. That's fine too. But if public software is like a fusion, that's kind of not really possible. Because a lot of free software is violated if it's proprietary. Like the licenses. The license is violated. How many hours have passed? It is currently 2 hours and 57 minutes in the stream. And I will probably keep going for at least another few minutes so that it's at least 3 hours total stream. Because why not? I love Linux Mint, but I want Linux Mint to have 5.5 KDE as default. KDE has actually been abandoned in Linux Mint completely. So that will definitely not happen. But it wouldn't happen anyway because Mint makes cinnamon. So the cinnamon is definitely going to be the default for probably ever until they decide not to make it anymore. I don't like WordPress either. Joomla is nice, but a little bit complicated. Like Plasma. Yes, kinda. Joomla is a good example. It's a good comparison, really. Because Joomla is very powerful and has a lot of cool features, but it is a lot more difficult to use than WordPress. That's a very good analogy. A very nice falafel. Nice. Those are nice. Meat free and very tasty. Nice. I don't actually eat meat either. I'm a vegetarian, but I don't know if I've ever had a falafel that was vegetarian. Sync was a wrong choice of words. Being able to watch your live stream full screen, have a pop-out chat hosted elsewhere. Oh, okay. Yeah, you could do Rocket Chat for, there's a Snap install Rocket Chat. That is a way better approach because you could like set up a DigitalOcean or Linode droplet or whatever with Ubuntu as the base, and then use a Snap to install the Rocket Chat thing, and then bam. It's not that easy, but it is pretty easy. It is close to that. Ski, the Pop Shot should have everything. It should have everything. Pop Shot. Another few minute hours. Just because you said that, Dark One, I'm going to end the stream right now. Wouldn't it be funny if I actually did that? I'm not doing that. But it'd be funny. Falafel is chickpeas. Sure had meat as a... Oh. I'm not saying it was. I don't know. You said no meat. It was meat free. I was like, Are they normally meat free? Because I don't know. But I also I don't know if I've ever even had a falafel. I might not have. Let's look. I don't know. Maybe. I said no for something else. No, I have not had a falafel, I don't think, because that does not seem familiar. It's like fried hummus. Okay, that sounds fantastic. I do need to try that. I need help. Okay, Wood Beast. I mean, I don't really have time, at least on weekends ever. Maybe sometime. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm an Italian YouTuber. That's funny. I'm an Italian YouTuber. Gave my opinion about the things should be documented by. That's funny. We're using Kubuntu PBAs or Plasma. Yeah, Clive, they were. The back ports. I have a PC. Sir AMD. I actually don't know what that card is. 730. All right, cool. Paid. I eat meat, but not much. I'm not anti meat. I just don't prefer to eat meat. So I'm a vegetarian by preference, not by like morals or anything. It's more of just a preference thing. I feel better when I don't eat meat. So makes sense to not eat it, not do it, right? I don't know if you can see her. Let's see. What's up, gigantic? There you go. There you go. Anyway. Whoa. I know. I will. Mm-hmm. She is adorable. And gigantic. Aren't you? You're just huge. You're huge. Yes, you are. Both of my dogs are calm most of the time. They'll get riled up if there's like someone knocking at the door or something like that, but most of the time they're calm. Because I am a good dog owner, and it's not just a pet, it is a friend. It's a friend. Hey, Lizzie. How you doing? A family member. Exactly. The other one's more active, not so calm, but still not, hyper or doesn't chew. Neither one of them chew on anything unless they're supposed to, like chew toys and things. They don't tear up anything, they don't break anything, they don't, only things that they are allowed to do, and they're okay with that. They don't Actually, don't even try to tear up anything. Do you? No, you don't. Because you're awesome. You're awesome. All right. So they want to go outside. Well, she does anyway. The other one already did, but this one does. So I'm going to go take her out. And I think I'm going to end the stream now because it's been 3 hours and 6 minutes. And I haven't eaten except for like 5 hours ago with a little bit of rice. So I think I might go get some pizza. That sounds good. What version of Linux do they run on? I have to think about that. If I did, like, what would they be? You know, what version of Linux would you be? Kind of thing. I'd have to think about that. I don't know. They're both rescue dogs, actually. She's a rescue dog for sure. She was like 2 or 3 when we got her. The other one was a puppy, but it was like he was a puppy, but he was like I don't want this puppy. Get rid of the thing, and we took him in. So he technically is a rescue as well, I guess. But she is for sure, aren't you? Puppy Linux is too obvious. I agree. It's too obvious. So yeah. All right, so I'm gonna end the stream now, and I will see you next week for another live stream on time. Unlike today's, but you know. Anyway, so thanks for coming to the stream. I will see you next week, and maybe on Biddle if you check out Big Daddy Linux Live, bigdaddylinux.org. If you want to check out that, I think it's .org. It might be .com. It might be bigdaddylinux.com. Either way, I don't know. But what I do know is tuxdigital.com/BigDaddyLinux does go whatever it's supposed to be. So try that or the other ones. One of them works. And yeah, that's it. So happy Easter to everybody as well. Could you do it later? Do what? Could I do what later? I don't know. I don't know what you mean. So TTFN? I don't know that one. I do not know that initialism. Did you know the difference between initialism and an acronym? There are differences. That, for example, is not an acronym. However, the most commonly used word to describe that is acronym. Incorrect. It is not. An acronym. Are you saying my stream or the Big Daddy Linux stream? Which one? I was curious. Anyway, acronym is an initialism that can be pronounced as a word, like NASA or scuba. But TTFN would be an initialism, not an acronym. You're welcome. Clive is also European. It just happens to be better beneficial for him. So no, Clive, unfortunately. I'll have to stay. I picked that time zone. I picked that specific time because it's both good for US and Europe and most of Europe. and a little bit somewhat for Australians ish. Kind of. Like, maybe. Stop it. Stop talking? Is that what you're saying? Go ahead and end the stream like you said you were going to like 5 minutes ago? It's a good point. Nice. Go get pizza. I agree, Woodbeast. I agree. You know what's funny? Totally. This is the last thing that I'm gonna turn. The vast majority of the viewers for Tux Digital, you would assume is US based because of me being US based, and that YouTube would just like make that happen for some reason, but it's not. I mean, as far as individual country, yes, because US is gigantic, therefore it has the most likelihood to be the biggest country. However, if you don't count it and you count it like continent or area, region, really, Europe and the UK, that area is the biggest total amount. So that's cool. I don't know why that happened, but that's still cool. Try pizza with rocket. What? Oh, pesto. It's like, what does that mean? I will try to eat pizza while playing Rocket League. That would be very difficult, almost totally impossible. Tomatoes, that does sound good. I like tomatoes. Feta cheese and pesto. I don't ever had pesto on pizza. That does sound pretty good though. Gabby Gal, jeez. Oh, you're saying I'm a Gabby person. Okay. Yes, I do speak a lot. However, that is very good. That is very beneficial to being a streamer and to being a YouTuber, to be able to talk a lot and about all kinds of things, which I am, and that's fine. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. The best Linux stream in the world. Wait, are you just saying that statement but not implying it's this one and trying to have a question mark to that? I don't know. Maybe it's like a trick. Maybe it's like a gotcha. Like, hey, it's the best stream. Ha, not this one. This one is hot. Got him. Maybe. Anyway. Whether you meant this stream or not, thank you. Because I will take it either way. I find a lot of American accents to grate a lot. Mine is great. Thank you. I know that's not what you meant, but I know my accent is very unique though too. I don't know how to describe it because I don't know what it is. Because it's not it's no region. There's no regional based accent. But exactly. Because my accent is a modified version of another accent, my original accent, which I have no idea what it sounds like. Like, I don't know what my old accent sounded like because I changed it so long ago. It is impossible for me to remember what it sounded like. So that accent plus what I changed it to created this accent. And therefore I have no idea what it would technically be. There you go. It is a completely unique custom accent. So, speaking, because that's basically what I just did. I'm actually not remotely relevant whatsoever. I'm just going to end the stream now. It has been 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes since the last time. Not the last time. I've said that like multiple times. The first time I said I was going to end the stream 10 minutes ago. I need to work on doing it better, but I keep wanting to talk in the chat. I don't know why. I just do. I just keep doing it. It's like an addiction. Live streaming is an addiction, I guess. I am tired. I am tired. Like, I don't know. My tired is not like, it's still amped a little bit. Like, I still have some hyperness and energy with my tired anyway. Like, and also I can like ignore it somewhat sometimes. But yeah, I kind of, yeah. You don't need to be over the top. Hey, Clive, did I ever smash that like button? Click the bell. Don't forget, click the bell. Get notifications. Regional accents are a good thing. Entrenches the language. Yeah, regional accents are a good thing. Unless you have my regional accent, because my region, I don't like it. And therefore, I changed it. But, you know, my accent is, I like having a unique one. Because I still have some regional part in there somewhere. It's just like not so prominent. I wish I could do a power nap. I can't do power naps because if I go to sleep, I go to sleep for the whole time. I can't do naps. But anyway, I'm going to get the stream off now. So I will see you next time. And thanks for coming to the stream. Thanks for smashing that like button and all that. And see you next time. And also maybe on Biddle. And I'm going to go get some pizza now because that sounds fantastic. So, bye. 5-hour stream, let's go. If I had started on time, maybe. But I didn't, so bye.